Hello, my name is Trey, and this brief webinar is on the acceptance in duality, where it's not just understanding that one side exists or the other, but it's seeing both sides and accepting them both, the fact that they do exist and they have to coincide in order for everything to really be what it is. Now, everything in here is solely on my own experience and my own findings and the things that the universe has provided me. And I've decided to create this and share this with anybody who is interested, and really everybody, because as it says here, seeing the beauty in all is so accessible when it comes to understanding the duality aspect of all of this. So some topics that we'll be going over, pretty much all of them, are how good and bad are perspectives, both examples in our world, the halves of duality that I've decided to come up with just a little list that explains some wonderful examples on just this half or this half. The experience of myself being vegan previously and no longer being vegan and the reasons why. Mind over matter, one of the most powerful subjects that I've ever come to know and that I have been able to experience in myself and share with really everybody. The one single thing higher that I know of, as in the one all higher, and we will get into that. The AI and awakening, this whole period of the technological aspect along with the elevation of consciousness in really everyone. Now everything is either a learning experience or an enjoyment experience, where you are either learning something that may not be easy to take, or you are experiencing something that's really just a wonderful time. You cannot fail. You cannot fail. Failure is a mindset, and it is not a fact. Now, maybe something didn't go the way you wanted it to, but you learned, and you don't learn when you gain something. Something I call the time box. I call it this because, well, you'll see. And my message to you overall, and why I decided to even create this. And lastly is the questions, if there are any, or the thank you, and until next time. So, good and bad perspectives. No one is right, no one is wrong. There is no one way for really anything. There's infinite ways to do multiple things. And when you look at it, no one is right, no one is wrong. Everybody is right and everybody is wrong. Everything is each other. These are both perspectives, just one half or the other. Very simple. Everything is a perspective. Hugs and murder. There's no one defining perspective saying, oh, this is really good, or oh, this is a terrible thing. Now, empowering view. When you understand that the good and the bad are perspectives, you then are able to restructure what you really believe, what you really know for yourself, as in, of course, going back on hugs and murder, good and bad, that is our opinion, that is our perspective. That is not the one defining perspective. Now, that is whatever that one defining perspective is not that, because that one defining perspective does not exist. That's simple. Seeing these as good and bad is just that. We're seeing it as that. Now, these are just simple examples. Positive and negative thoughts aren't anything until acted upon. So all thoughts are okay. You can have wonderful thoughts and never do anything about them. You can have very terrible thoughts and never do anything about them. They're just thoughts of what is, and what is a thought, vice versa. And neither can exist without each other. We would not know good if we didn't have bad, and we wouldn't know bad if we didn't have good. Also quite simple. Both are okay, and fully up to you. Because if you are wanting to do one or the other, that's fine. It's something that is. And that's up to you. Whatever that choice is, whatever that decides to be created from, so be it. Now, both examples in our world. Earth is both. Certain kinds of people. They're good, bad, skinny, fat, loving, hateful, all sorts of things where it's this or this. Again, simplicity and duality. It's this and this. It's all this is about. Just explaining the fact that there is both without forgetting the fact that there's both. One common thing, one thing in common, all are one. All are simply one thing of the overall. Say there's one solid everything, it's this half and this half. That's all of duality. That's all of the good and the bad, the loving and the hateful. It's just this and this of sides of this. And they can each be both. They can each be each other. Again, everything is each other, vice versa. Two things may look different, but in reality and in duality, they're beyond inseparable. From conversation to the first thought, every single thing is one or the other. The idea of going into a conversation with one half then creates that one half, whatever that may be. But it is also in the mind and the thought. If you have that one first thought, it will then generate the rest of it. As in, if you have a really good thought, it will get you wanting to do a lot of positive things. But if you also don't have that one thought, if you don't have that level of thought, you have the other kind of thought, it may want you to get to do other things. Simply this and this. Simply seeing both halves. This is fully up to you. This is your choice. This is your creation. Seeing this, one of my favorite parts, seeing this truly is which side you are and when. So if you are, we'll just use the conversation as an example. If you're in a conversation, you're having a conversation with somebody, you can then see which one you're being at the moment, and you'll be able to decide what that will create. If you're having a conversation with somebody and you are having more of a hateful stance, there's a good handful of options of which way that will go. If you're seeing it as a very positive thing, you're feeling really good, there's even more handfuls of things that will be able to be created because you're acting the way you are in the situation. And it's really that simple. Now you decide. Now you decide. You see this. If you see this, you can then continue this. You can then push forward and decide which one you want to be. Again, if you can find which one you are in the moment, you can then see how it's going to turn out, how it's going to play out. If you even want that for yourself, if you feel like that's even a safe situation for you or something you even want to deal with. But again, you're going to go back and forth. You still must fluctuate to where you're going to see that, but you will forget it. You will remember it, but you will forget it, and you will have to go back and forth. But the goal here as well is to recall exactly what you want it to be. Doesn't matter if it's positive or negative. For you, whatever that is, just be in mind, be able to remember and recall what you want to create, so you can do that consciously and with the best decisions for you. Now, seeing the benefits of both sides. Seeing both sides shows you how much there really is. You normally would subconsciously exist on one half of all of this. Now, when you exist on that one half, you only get the one half of all the perspectives. You get the one half of the ideas and the opinions, and you only exist on one side majority of the time. But if you then can see the fact that the other side exists, you can see it, you can embrace it, and you can accept the fact that it's not just you. You're not right and you're not wrong. You being able to see the other half opens up more view, more perspective, and lets you be able to create a new decision for yourself. It gives more than one example for something. So your half is that one example. We can narrow down to just two examples. Your half is one, the other half is the other. Seeing both of those then gives you twice as much insight on whatever that is that you're encountering at this moment. Less judgment, hate, envy, jealousy, arguing, all sorts of things, because you then understand. You then are able to meet in the middle in a way. More understanding, unity, appreciation, exploration, knowing that there's always the other side. There is always more. There will never not be that side, because we have to exist with that. That's our reality. There's right and there's left. There's all sorts of things. Now, on your end, that may have been backwards, but you get my point. Seeing this allows you to have a more powerful, more positive perspective on really all of this. More consideration and acceptance that 50% more exists. The reasons, the whys. You see your half, you get your half. Hopefully you get your half. Now you can get the other half. Once you get the other half, it's a lot more okay for decisions you make. It's a lot more sane for you to decide certain things in your own light, that you can decide what is best for you because you see both sides. Maybe your true side is not the side you've been doing. There's that other half. You can tap into that. When you tap into that, you'll be able to unlock literally another half of yourself that you may have either been pushing down, avoiding, or just never come up in the mind in the first place, and that's not your fault, but now you can see the other side. You must know one to know the other. Again, if you know bad, you can know good, because you know one half. If you know one half, then you have the same tools to understand the other half. You are just as much in control as not. Slight typo, but again, you get my point. You're just as much in control as you're not in control. And now I exist personally in my mind on the aspect of the try, where I can articulate and I can control every little detail of my life and format it in the ways that I want to and create the things that I want to create. But I also have a really good friend that exists on the side of, well, you're not in any control. Now, I completely understand that side. I really do. Personally, I like to use the other half, but we'll use this example, the try and the trust. I try. I put together, I systematically create this. That's what it is. But then I trust. I let the control go and let that trust be what then runs the rest of it. I let everything know what I want it to be, and then I trust that it will go right. Now, there's also a part to that a little deeper that when you, in order to allow it to trust, to allow yourself to trust that it will go right, you have to not do things in your daily life that mix the balance up too much. If you mix it up too much, then you're not going to be able to try or trust as comfortably or as successfully. You truly need both. You can't live without them. You don't have a choice. This is a duality-based realm. Remembering that, again, unlocks the entire other 50%. It's not just your half. There's the other half. And when you realize that, when you realize you can't live without that half, things become easier. You begin to be okay with a lot of things. You always will get deeper with both. It gets so much deeper. And here's just some examples where you have good days, bad days, happy, sad times, again, learning experiences or joyful ones where it's like, maybe I didn't want that too much, or I loved that. I'm glad I was experienced in that. You can be an energy type or systematic type. Personally, I'm a systematic type, where that's that try half, again, half and half. I'm that try half, the systematic, where I find the patterns, I find the details, and I try to find all the reasons and whys. Again, I try too. It's all in the, even in the vocabulary. You can be an energy type, which is, again, my friend, where it's a feeling. There is not a creative aspect until that feeling is there, because when that feeling is there, then that generates, okay, that's the decision making. I don't have a creative aspect until I see the patterns there. There needs to be a fuel source, and whatever that fuel source is then what creates or allows you to create your next step. You can be left-brained or right-brained. I'm left-brained. You're going to have more love or more hate in your life. I personally believe now that I have a healthy thing of both. And I don't want to say, oh, I have any hate in my life, but everybody does have those good and those dark sides of them. And I am beginning to find more of that love in my life, and it is a beautiful thing. And that's also a deeper message to this, where this isn't, I am explaining to you, there's this half and there's this half, but the reason I'm even explaining to you in the first place is because of the love this will allow you to feel. So there's an overall principle here that wants you to have the most experience, the most positive experience you can. You can try or trust more. And I threw that in at the last second. Another typo. I know, but you get my point once more. You can try, you can trust. I'm a try, and I do trust eventually. When you combine the two, that's when this game falls into your hands, and it is reminded to you that this is your game. No one stays on one side. You can try to stay on one side, and people have, and they end up in whatever they're supposed to end up in. You can stay on one side, not for long. You're going to have to fluctuate. But if you live a certain lifestyle where it will put you so far onto one side, that's totally okay. Again, either side is totally fine. But in order to have a steady stream of positivity or understanding in yourself or your own existence or even in life itself, you have to have a balance. You can try to stay on one side. It won't work all the time. Some things get easier, some obviously get harder. Here's a clear difference. Elites on the super negative side, at the super deep elite side where it's just them, they're not worried about anybody else, they do whatever they want, super selfish. And there's hippies where they're entirely selfless, where it's pure love and they almost do not understand. Well, I'm sure they understand, but they almost do not ever experience any sort of hate coming from them. Whereas in the elites, kind of feed on that in their own deeper ways. You can fight this, or you cannot fight this. You have to accept this, because it's something where, again, you do not have a choice. The halves of duality. This is my favorite thing. I've decided to throw this in my book as well, and this is actually where that came from. But the halves of duality are just some wonderful examples that kind of shine some light on all of this. Where, again, let's see. The overall is love, pure existence. We'll get into that, but that is just, let's just say that's the one main. Take a couple steps down. There's spirit and there's ego. There's the good and the bad. Neither one of these are good or bad. It's just one side or the other, but these are the halves. These are the examples of each half, where there's the spiral and the angle, the Fibonacci sequence. There's the energy and the form, which makes up literally our entire reality. The positive and the negative also makes up the reality. It's this half and this half, the feeling, the knowing, the feminine, the masculine, the intuition and the synchronicity. And that's my favorite one, where the synchronicity you see outside, you see externally. The intuition you know inside of you. It's that half and it's this half. It's self-explanatory. Now, my experience of no longer being vegan is the rainbow, what I like to call it. I did it because of a vibration increase. My desire was to simply that, raise my frequency of mind by eating things that were of pure frequency. I was vegetarian for 6 months, hit vegan for 3 months, and I didn't really notice this until like somebody mentioned it, but I lost almost 20 pounds, ending at 143 pounds. Was never sick before, so that's a reason that there's a few reasons people go vegan or vegetarian, but a big thing about it is like, oh, illnesses or diseases are from that. I was never sick before, and since overcoming this as well, I've understood more behind the belief system of dis-ease, and I have never been healthier. I had an experience where I could see the inside of my body, and it was mostly red. So what does that kind of tell you? Although it says the rainbow, because I experienced the rainbow, I saw every single color, and I thought, okay, so I'm supposed to copy that and bring those colors in. But again, I saw mostly red, so I thought, well, I'm lacking that. I haven't had meat in 3 months, so I'm like, okay, well, let's throw this in. Let's see what happens. I decided to the next morning, not even 10 or 12 hours later, go to one of my favorite restaurants and eat a piece of food there. And when I ate that food, something happened where something in me cracked, and I was able to feel the love that I was lacking. I was almost on the floor crying, and I felt so good. The love I lost, I have now brought back to me through this experience of the enjoyment, the love behind eating something that I enjoyed, the happiness behind it. That is what I have now discovered, at least for me, the key to being healthy is to be happy. That's more than just, oh, be healthy, be happy, or whatever the saying is. It's actually the case. If you feel good, you're going to live good within. You can't have anything in the mind, in the body, anything super toxic, like just negative frequencies of ideas, because thoughts are so much more powerful than all food. And if you don't have good thoughts, it doesn't matter what you're eating. You're gonna get sick. If you have great thoughts, as long as you don't eat soap or poison, I like to say, then you're gonna be fine. Eat all the colors, all the frequencies. Have the balance of all of them, because too much of anything will harm you. It will, even water. That's how that works. Too much of anything or too little of anything will harm you. If we were a little closer to the sun or a little farther away, we couldn't be here. Everything's balanced and lined up very perfectly. Now again, going back on one, I tasted, saw, smelled, breathed, felt love in my skin because I brought that love back to me. I brought that feeling back to me, and it was, I forever thank my friend for getting me to accept in the moment, okay, let's try it. This is a game. Let's find out what happens. It was the best decision I've ever made. Now I've never been healthier, and I'm very, very satisfied with the decision. A belief system said I could only eat a certain way. That belief system is what allowed all of it. Not the food. The belief system is what got me to lose almost 20 pounds. The lack of food, but the belief system was the root of that. Now, switching that belief system after I tried something that I just enjoyed, that I couldn't eat as much at the moment, because of course when you do go vegetarian or vegan, you can be good on a smaller amount of food, especially if it's heavier. But I wanted to keep going, and it was everything. So the balance is key. Bringing the halves together, the rainbow, all of it, one. Remembering that and bringing that down and back, That's a key, truly. Again, I've never been healthier than this moment now. Mind over matter. Again, my favorite thing, the belief system. Nothing has any meaning except the meaning we give it, from the grand Tony Robbins. It is all up to you. Your creations, reactions, results, everything. This is your choice. If you decide something is the way it is, and you embed that into your person, that's what it's going to be. If you think meat will kill you, it will kill you. If you avoid it, that's okay, but just know that the body reacts to belief systems. It doesn't make its own decisions in a way. Now, subconsciously, that runs everything, but your creations will have a cause and effect. Your reactions will have a cause and effect. The belief system is everything, and that's what I'm trying to focus on here. Your choice of diet, God, understanding of love and hate, right and wrong, all of those are fully up to you. But even if you had won your entire life, it's never too late to change something or move something else in the next level that will show you more simply. Make the decisions with love as the principle. This is the one thing why I'm even creating this in the first place. Why I even want to stress the one small message, as in have love, create the love, do everything with love, and that being your answer, that being your principle for anything, is the best and the best bet for truly positive creation. Because if you have love as your principle, nothing wants to work against you. If you have hate as a principle, hate is against everything, even itself. So if you have love there, replacing that, you're free. Take that risk, whatever that is. That belief system, trash it, jump in, jump off whatever it is, and take that dive, take that risk. Because the worst case, the worst thing that's going to happen is you learned a lesson. Now, maybe it was lightly joyful. Maybe it was mostly a not so positive experience. But either way, you took that chance, and now you know. For your own experience, now you know. Don't let anyone tell you what to do, what to think, believe, anything. See everything, see both sides, and make your own decisions. But never close off your decisions. Never close off the fact that there's always more. Because even at one point, I thought, okay, no, this is it. Moments later, got a synchronicity. Oh, I don't know anything. And I know that. I know that's a metaphor, but that's also a belief system. What I know is something, in my own words, what I know is something that I don't really know. I wish I did, but I only know my own experiences. And a lot of the things I say I know that are on the more physical level, like my passion of extraterrestrials and things like that, I don't fully know. I know as much as I've experienced, but I know that. I do have the ways to explain a lot of things and talk about certain things, but I only know what I have experienced, and that is something that nobody can change, is your experiences. So don't let anybody tell you exactly what things are until you've experienced it for yourself. This one's good. Even the idea of being sick. Disease is a belief system. The world has created certain things to mean certain things, where the whole idea of being vegan, that has been created of, oh, if you're not this is the stem of illness and all these things. Some of these things have accuracy, but a lot of them have less accuracy than others do to that one solid truth of the closest that can be to that pure love, that pure infinite, whatever that one answer is, where the body needs meat. It does, because it needs a balance. It needs fruit, it needs vegetables, it needs a little bit of everything, really. Not too much of everything, but a little bit of everything that is actual growing food, organic. That is the key here. Not, oh, be vegan, you can eat potato chips or like snacks and things like that because it's not meat or whatever, but actual organic living things that have the frequency of Earth. And Earth has a massive frequency range. Anything within that, truly, of what comes from it, from a plant to something that is born through it, all work. And at a certain point, you cannot question something along these lines. Now, that's not saying close off your mind. Keep asking, but you will keep getting the same answer. Maybe later in life that will change due to something you experience and something the universe decides to throw at you from within or without. But at a certain point, you can't question it. And when you can't question it, do not question it, because the more you do, it's just going to kind of keep showing you the exact same thing. Now, the one single thing higher that I know of, that I've ever been able to come across in my own life, my own experience, is the source, is all of that. The energy source of pure love and intelligence, what all comes from dimensional, anything you can and cannot think of on every possible plane, comes from this. It comes from source, in my words. This source is what people call God. That God is that infinite creator. God is you. You create, right? Well, consciousness has gathered everything. This is all intelligent design. The angles and the spirals, the perfect Fibonacci, the ratio of the fist, how it makes perfect compression. This is all intelligent design, and consciousness created this. You are not the physical vessel. You are that consciousness. You are an infinite fractal of the one ultimate creator's perspective, experiencing itself through this grand duality. Not you, again, as your temporary vessel, but you, this energy that is understanding what these words are coming from this vessel. That comprehension, that connection that is here because you can understand me and you know what I'm talking about. It is all consciousness and source experience itself. That is source, that is God, that again, that I know of my own experiences have provided me this from going within. Now, none of this on here I got from external. I got all of this from inside of me. After really experiencing this, seeing this in deep states of thought, in mind, in meditation, whatever that allows the depth of the mind to be clear, this is what it has brought me. This has always been and always will be. Nothing has started and nothing will stop. This is all a consistent flow. This is, everything's in motion. There is times, again, time will get there, but time's not even real. So it's like, it gets very interesting, but just the fact that this right here, this source is above overall, creates this duality, realizing that you are this source, creating the duality for yourself is a freeing thing, because you no longer limit yourself, because you are limitless, truly. It only goes up from there, way, way up. The AI awakening and the natural awakening, energy and form. Now those could be switched for the AI and awakening, as in the AI is the form, is the mathematics, the technological aspect, the angles, where the awakening, the energy, is the spirals. So the AI is the artificial intelligence, obviously, and in the world today, it is growing rapidly. And we have robots that open doors, that can run trillions of algorithms for chess and beat itself, beat all the people on the planet. This is happening. We cannot avoid this. And this technology, seeing things as this half or this half, is coming from the bad half. But it's not bad. It's not a bad thing. That's all perspective. Good and bad are perspectives. It's just coming from that side. Now, the world is also waking up on a level that humanity has never experienced, at least not exactly like this, because this, damn, this is crazy, and this is a beautiful thing. Now, this is all of us remembering that we, as the creator, are remembering the self, that we did this for ourselves to experience everything we have so far. This awakening is coming from the good half. That doesn't mean it's a good thing. I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but stick with me. It's just one half of everything. Just like the AI, the bad half, it's just the other side. Now, going deeper, again, back to the energy and form, the form is the mathematics. It is the angles. The energy is the spirals. The spirals are the good. The form is the AI, the bad. Just the half. They need to come together to exist. Now, trying to go a step deeper, talking on the energy and the form, how everything that exists is one or the other. The energy is us comprehending through this, through these visuals and understanding through this consciousness. The form is the mathematics that make up our organic organism, this jelly vessel. Those come together to create duality. We exist as duality. We are that simply through our own existence. It's right here. We can look at it in the mirror. We can look at it in trees. We can look at it during a conversation. They both came from the original source. That one source divided two, pure intelligence, pure energy, divides into two so it can experience itself. These are acting as two entities. Looks like one and the other. It is one and the other, but at the core, there is no difference. They look different, but they are inseparable at its core. At this moment, they're still the same. Now, everything is either a learning experience or an enjoyable one. And they're both always both, because one is never just one and one is never just the other. You can like it or you don't like it. Everything is an experience. You can learn from it or you can repeat it. Now, repeating isn't a bad thing. Good and bad, just perspectives. The good hugs, you want to repeat hugs, right? Well, learning isn't always easy or wanted, and it's never always a bad thing. Everything is each other. It falls into place both ways. You can enjoy a lesson or learn from a loving idea that doesn't end well. It's a little mixed up, but I hope that this is clicking well, because this is the truth. This is a truth that you can test. I'm not saying this is the answer. None of this is an answer. These are just ways to really look at all of this, and you can test this yourself. Because if you test this and it works in your favor, why would you not want to exist within this? This is freeing. This is everything. I love all lessons at this point. For me, I love all of them, no matter how hard, because hard's a mindset. It's a mentality. If something's hard for you, you're not accepting it. If you are accepting of it, okay, it's an experience. Either way, it's an experience. See both ways, but you can love it or you can want to avoid it. Either way, you're going to experience it. That part's up to you as well. But it all has its own mixtures of love and hardships, where I love these lessons. Sometimes they're crazy and they're really intense, but I'm also happy that I'm even able to experience these, and I'm able to comprehend them at the ways that I have so far. Hold on. Okay. These mixtures go infinitely deeper, just like the duality leaving source, yet exist on merely one side or the other, yet again at their core. Now, at their core is a metaphor where it's decay. It's really the truth for it, but that is not something that is beneficial daily. Seeing both sides is more beneficial, I believe, than understanding that everything is everything. Because yes, everything is everything, but okay, where do you go from there? Anywhere. That's a lot. Seeing one side for what it is, deciding if that's better for you in the moment, way simpler than trying to leave source and to instantly create on both levels. It's a little ridiculous, it's a little much, so nobody needs to get that deep. Don't go that far in thought with it unless you'd like to, of course. And then those conversations are always wonderful if you can handle them within yourself. But seeing one thing is this, one thing is this, and seeing them together and the fact that they both exist perfectly is quite beneficial. Simply remember the differences, the inseparable differences. Maybe? Yes, because this is everything. These combinations go within when they coincide all the time. Seeing both of them as each other allows you to simply breathe. You cannot fail. Failure is a mindset. We all have the choice in the world to decide what things mean to us. Our reactions are creations. Fully up to us. How do you want to create? How do you want to walk into the next day and be the person that you want to be? How do you react when somebody says something to you that's either amazing or terrible? That's up to you. Now, you cannot fail either of the ways, because that's something that is, again, a mindset. You learn and gain wisdom through everything. Failure is only a mentality if you don't gain something. But either way, you're going to gain something if you see something to be gained. Even if there's nothing there that's super positive, you now learn something about the situation that you're a part of that will allow you to make that next step and to move on in life. Take everything that ever comes your way, good or bad, as an experience to feel something you never have before, or to love something that you despised prior. Our world needs more acceptance from all sides. It doesn't matter the side. Let that love out, because understanding that, taking something in, taking all things in as just understandings and experiences, you feel so good. You are able to then create what you want to, what you need to, take apart things that aren't for you, make better decisions, find everything that really works for you and put it into motion by accepting that both sides are perfect and loving them for what they are, no matter what the common world says about them. And this is the part where time's not even real. It's not real, and it's all we have as humans. So right now is all we have, this moment right here. And in this moment, where are you on this box? I call this the time box because, as it says, this is a 90-year lifespan in months. Every box is a month, or every circle is a month. Where are you in this? Because wherever you are, the time you've listened to me speak about this, that you listen to me speak about this, is going by in these circles. It is pushing on through. So really decide what you want in life and what is next for you, because now is all we have, and now you're here. So now on this part, my message to you overall is to forgive. Forgive yourself. Forgive everybody that has hurt you, because it is not their fault. It is not your fault. Things happen. Everything happens for a reason, and everything that happens is okay. It really is. Because if you forgive yourself, especially, then you can breathe. You let these grudges go. If you forgive others, then you're able to let that grudge go on them. You can then make new connections, more creations with others, and create a more bonding experience. We're not supposed to be fighting each other for anything. We're supposed to be coinciding with everything. Animals, plants, each other. Now, of course, the world has to have been in war states. It has to have been in a negative frequency for a while. But that's also okay, because that needed to exist in order for the world to awaken as it is right now. Love. Love everything, everyone, every moment, every experience, every single thing you can. Fill it with love, because when you fill it with love, it will return that. It will return that to you, and then you can feel that in yourself. You can breathe. You can open up so much more, just like I'm going to do to this window right now. And you can feel that love. You can breathe it. You can eat that good piece of food at that restaurant and cry over it, because the fact that you can taste that, the fact that you enjoy that, that concept right there allows me to love every single thing I eat. Since that happened, I'd say 98% of things that I eat at all, I have a new appreciation for. I love them because of the flavor. Any flavor is a great flavor. Of course, don't eat soap or poison, but anything else, like panda orange chicken, or my favorite, sushi, of course, all of it. I have a dopamine overload when I eat sushi, and it's just filled with love at this point. Now, that doesn't happen as serious with panda or things like Chick-fil-A, but those things bring so much love to the self when you can appreciate them for just simply being. That idea of everything is everything, that works there, because you can love everything because it is everything. And the last one, remember that this is yours. Remember to forgive. Remember to love. Remember to feel these moments, and to take every single moment like it's the only moment, because it really is. Time's not real. Tomorrow is just as close as 5 years ago, because now is all we have. This very moment is infinite. You're always in this moment. This body will age because this is in a lower frequency, a lower dimension, a lower density, and it's doing its own thing. This is connected to time. All of this is time. You are not connected to time. You are infinite. And when you can remember that and feel that in yourself, you become a whole new person. Now, these are questions or thank you and farewell, and I'm gonna go ahead and just end it here. So I appreciate you for being here, and look forward to the next time. So thank you, and farewell.